The son of Croatian immigrants, Andrew Bogut enjoyed a typical working-class upbringing in Endeavour Hills, on Melbourne's southeastern urban fringe. His father was a hard-working, self-employed motor mechanic, and the family business was where Andrew first discovered basketball.
There was a hoop up at his workshop in Clayton, and just started throwing a tennis ball through it, and then a soccer ball, and then eventually moved on to buy basketball and just fell in love with the game. So it's funny the way it worked out. So every time I went to work, I found something to do while he was working. Kind of found my own thing to do.
Your dad ripped out the above-ground pool in the backyard to facilitate your basketball development.
Yeah, that was. My sister wasn't too happy about it, to be honest, because she loved the pool. But yeah, made a bit of a renovation in the backyard. Got some pavers, paved it a little bit of some concrete and so on. And you know, it was only about maybe the length of a free throw line and about the width of a key, so I didn't have a lot of room to work. But it was enough. I mean, I was in heaven for every hour I was outside.
Just hour after hour after hour, bouncing that basketball, taking shots, just practicing.
Yeah, even convinced my dad to put some lights up. Neighbours weren't too happy because I was bouncing the ball till 9, 10 o'clock at night, but you know, I think it helped me a lot today.
Blessed with height on both sides of the family, Andrew took up competitive basketball at the age of 10. But by age 13, his growth spurt had slowed, necessitating a change of position that, unbeknownst to him at the time, would hold him in good stead in the future.
I kind of stopped growing, a lot of people caught up to me, so I had to change positions to small forward. So I learned to handle the ball and learn to shoot from the outside, and you know, no doubt about that, helped my game.
Always played with fire and passion. That was interpreted as having an attitude problem in your junior days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a kid, it's kind of hard. I was very, very frustrated. I always wanted to play the game the right way, be respectful of the game, and a lot of people didn't understand that. So used to get fired up and show a lot of attitude and anger and emotion on the court, and that was always perceived as a bad attitude. So I think without that, I wouldn't be here today. So I definitely thank a lot of people for mentioning it as a junior, because it just lit a fire inside me that made me keep going.
You were cut from the Victorian squad at 15. Why?
There's a lot of politics in junior sports. I still hold on to that to this day. I mean, a lot of people will say that I wasn't good enough at the time, but I was one of the best players on the team, not being arrogant and cocky, and that lit a fire inside me because I knew that it was the last time I wanted to be last. If I made that team, would I be here today? I don't know. I might have taken the easy route and had a chip on my shoulder, so it definitely helped me.
And at one stage, your dad forced you back to basketball. You threatened to quit. You said, I'm not going to the tryouts, that's it, I've had enough. And he said, no, I'm putting you in the car and you are going.
That was funny enough, that state team. It was that state team. Got in an argument with my parents and said I don't want to play anymore. And I was so close to Brink, and he could see it, so he pushed me to go. And I missed one of the tryouts, and thankfully enough, I got allowed to participate in the next one, and ended up being a good ending.
It made you, I guess, realise how much you wanted it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had my problems at the institute too. You know, I was away from home for the first time, learning to fend for yourself. As a 15, 16-year-old kid, definitely isn't easy. So I had a lot of things to learn, doing your own washing, those type of things, prepared me for my future life. But there's no doubt that was what made me. I mean, being somewhere where there's a basketball court next door to your bedroom where you can go 24 hours a day, I was in heaven. Weight room, facilities, pool, recovery. It's the best in Australia, maybe if not the best facility in the world for athletes. And I think it definitely helped me, and it's still, I think, one of the best facilities in the world that I've seen.
AIS was very good times for you. You ended up in the Australian Junior World Championship team that went on and won the world title, which was an amazing performance, and you were MVP of that tournament. It was around about that time that the basketball world started to sit up and take notice of Andrew Bogut. Was it at that time that you actually realised, you know, I'm actually potentially good enough to make a living out of this?
Yeah, I kind of always knew I'd make a living out of it, but my goal, you know, as a 13, 14-year-old was just to play in the NBL. NBA was a dream, but my goal was the NBL. I set realistic goals, and once I was 15, 16 in those junior tournaments, I kind of realised I got a chance to be in the NBA and be a good player in the NBA. So the scouting and all that started after that tournament, kind of put me on the map.
Andrew's dominant performances against the world's best juniors attracts the attention of European scouts, and multi-million-dollar offers soon follow. But the young Aussie is already committed to playing US college ball with the University of Utah. He now faces a difficult choice for an 18-year-old: immediate 7-figure paychecks or an extended apprenticeship.
It was definitely tempting from the background that I was at. It would have helped the family for life, but my parents supported me with whatever I wanted to do. And actually my dad said, you know, you gave your word that you were going to go to the University of Utah. If I went to college and didn't like it, the next day I can leave, because it's not a contractual obligation at college. You know, you can leave the next day, and I could have went to Europe. So I didn't even question it again. I was set on going there.
Your first year of college was solid. Your second year you exploded. Suddenly your name's on the horizon as being potentially a #1 NBA draft pick. That must have been somewhat surreal.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure at the time. I think it was a lot of expectation, but I kind of blocked that out. People started taking notice because I kept being consistent every game with 20 points, 10 rebounds.
He could be the #1 pick in the country.
I tried to block out the rest of the world. I wasn't focusing on the NBA. I was focusing on the University of Utah, and it worked out. Every arena is packed full of students who have been drinking and so on, and they're loud and they're obnoxious and they're heckling you. You've got fans that arrive 2 hours early to heckle you while you're warming up. I mean, it's a great atmosphere to be part of. Obviously in the pro game, you get a little bit of that, but not so much. But in college, it's great. I mean, there's nothing better than hitting a big shot on the road and silencing the crowd. And it's an unbelievable experience. I'm very thankful that I went to college and I've experienced that. But then, the whole draft process and all that was hell for me. I really didn't enjoy that because it was so much scrutiny. They're pretty much, there's a camera on you 24 hours a day. If you're out partying, it's going to get taken a photo of, put in the paper. So all that type of stuff, kind of just had to lay low, focus on training and just wait till after the draft to do all those things.
It's June 2005 and 20-year-old Aussie Andrew Bogut is unquestionably basketball's hottest young property. Having impressed at the 2004 Olympics, he dominates his second season with the Utah Utes, making a clean sweep of the prestigious Wooden, Naismith and Oscar Robertson Awards for the best player in college basketball, as well as being the leading vote-getter on the All-American team and being named Player of the Year by the Associated Press, the National Coaches Association and ESPN. Andrew's name is now squarely in the mix to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft, a pick held by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Draft day, waking up, having a shave in the morning, putting on the suit, making sure everything fit, then having a nap, then waking up again, put the suit back on, think about, had a quick bite to eat at 2 and then was pretty much doing media all before then, get there early, get drafted.
With the first pick in the 2005 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Andrew Bogut from Australia and the University of Utah.
Did you know you were going #1 until your name was read out?
No, Milwaukee didn't give me an indication. I knew I was going 1 or 2, obviously.
Can you remember the moment when you heard your name?
You always remember it the rest of your life. I mean, it's something that you never forget. Having the commissioner of the NBA, in front of millions of people, you're shaking his hand. Can't even remember really walking up there and doing that whole thing. It was kind of surreal. It's one of those moments that you can't really remember because it happened so fast.
Must have been a very emotional time, a very excitable time, and a great celebration for your family. Suddenly, there you are up on stage as the #1 draft pick in the world.
Yeah, it's something that you just think about all the memories and not making teams and all the things you have to go through to get there. I think it's all worth it at the end, no doubt. It was definitely an emotional moment for everybody in my family, including myself.